What's up, everybody? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick.
I'm Jammin John.
And we have yet another album review for you, and one that we kind of dove into the underground, and, well, we actually know someone in this band. We went over their last album, and we struggled pronouncing all of the words, much like we're going to do right now, because everything is in Swedish. But we are going to go over the latest offering from Jordfäst, Blodsdåd och hor. Not even close.
I sincerely doubt that's actually what it says. But I mean, that's how it's spelled. So phonetically, I think you're all right.
I don't know. I don't even know what it means. I probably should have looked it up. Could mean like bloody orc taint. I don't know. But I know that this also comes out on the 25th of July on Black Lion Records. This band formed in Sweden in 2017. This is their third full length. We went over their last one, Soft. That one's a little bit easier to pronounce. Mm-hmm. We really dug it, and this was sent to us by the same person that sent us the last one. Ellis Eden Markskog, who is the guitarist of Birdflesh. This is his black metal project. He turned us on to it and said, hey, would you like to check out my black metal project? It's like, dude, we love Birdflesh, and
yes,
you have given us hilarity and grindcore, and those are gifts, sir. So we will gladly check that out.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much in a nutshell, that's exactly what happened, like verbatim. Ellis has become a rather good friend over the years, and yeah, with us being such Birdflesh fans, when he approached us and said, hey, do you want my black metal band? We both just said, well, yeah.
Now, he plays pretty much all the instruments except for drums in here and does clean vocals. And I mean, in terms of a style of black metal, it's kind of hard to really center in on like one particular style. Like, it definitely has elements of second wave. It has blackened thrash moments. It's very epic and triumphant at points. It's also very melancholic. It's an adventure. And much like the last one, this is only 2 songs. But unlike the last one, these 2 songs are broken up into 4 parts each, so this actually has 8 tracks on it. But like the other one, they flow like 1 track, each one. And both are epic adventures into riffy darkness. I mean, that's kind of like the best way I could put it. It's kind of all over the place black metal, but man, does it hit a lot of styles and points that I really dig.
Yeah, extremely dynamic. Like, it definitely doesn't stick in one vein at any given time. Even though these 2 songs and the movements contained within are vastly different, in my opinion, both these songs are housed with a ton of dynamics that don't really let you latch on to really one thing for too long. It's just a bunch of camps presented all at once.
But done really well, like paced really well. I would say each song is probably close to the 20-minute mark. And within each song, again, big shifts in mood, tone, style. The opening of the first track, and forgive me, I'm going to attempt this one too. It's Altar of Skarvor, Part 1.
Nailed it.
Got that last part down. It's almost like it was English. Comes in with isolated, cold strumming. There's a nice shimmering lead, and it's immediately very epic. Like, you get this kind of like epic march sort of vibe to it. Very akin to like Enslaved, and like I would even say like later Bathory, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of later Bathory. I like the early Evil shit. But it sets up the song well. It marches into battle. It sounds frostbitten, and then it just kind of keeps moving with these big soaring melodies. And right away, one of my favorite elements of this, and it carries throughout this entire album, are the vocal dynamics. Mm-hmm. The frontman, whose name I probably couldn't pronounce anyway, let's be honest. He does a lot of the just like roars and growls and screams. He's got a solid delivery. He sounds very dry and very throaty. Exactly what you want from black metal. But it's Ellis in the background doing all these clean vocals. And I believe, much like he did on the last one, he is just like layering his vocals and doing vocal harmonies. But it adds this big epic tinge. And it's really cool how they do it, because it's not always like a back and forth, like you get the harsh vocals, then the clean vocals. There's a lot of points where they harmonize the 2, and the growls do come in key, and you get this kind of like big Viking chant behind everything, and that gives this album such a huge scope. Like, it goes from sounding like, you know, just like vicious riffy section in a club where everyone's just moshing their asses off to armor-clad gentlemen chanting over beautiful fjords and the fog and shit. I said that Swedish word right.
As the record moves on, it opens up stylistically too. Like the second part of the first song, which I'm not going to pronounce, which you already butchered. I'm not going to read.
Just say part one now. Yep. We're good.
Yep. So part two of the first song, I think it goes from that like soaring and kind of triumphant, like epic vibe. It gets darker. Like at this point in the game, it's a lot darker. It's got good D-beat gallops. We start opening into things like halftime grooves. Definitely more sinister as far as the melodies are concerned. And it just kind of lets the record just, again, we talked about scope, just kind of lets it like open and here you are.
And then part three, man, dude, one of the most intense tracks on here, or parts of a track, I guess, parts of the song. It's weird because each song can kind of work on its own, even though they do like go right into one another very well. But each movement on here, I guess we can call it, or each part has like, you know, cool riff changes, bridges, lead sections. But the third part is one of the most vicious songs on the album. Thrashy, blasty, a lot of cool turnovers in the drum work. The riff work is vicious on this song. Honestly, it kind of reminded me of Sodom. Like, I was thinking about like just vicious German thrash pretty much throughout that entire song up until it shifts gears towards the end of it. You get more into like cold tremolos, the Viking chants come back, and again, it's this constant like ebb and flow of moods and shifts in it. And then by the time you get into the fourth part, it's slow and brooding at the start. You get like these more tribal drums. The vocals sound more groaned, but then it shifts to like ascending tremolos. And when these riffs ascend, like they soar. And then generally behind them, you have Ellis's clean vocals, which are really cool because, again, like this is very heavy, but it's also all about harmonies and melodies and building that epic but evil sort of vibe too. Like this has dissection notes to it, and those first two dissection albums mean the fucking world to me.
Well, and it's not clean vocals in the sense of like, you know, pretty sing-songy vocals. Like for the most part, it's choral chants.
Yeah.
Which, again, not only add to the darkness, but again, make everything sound larger than life.
They work really well at the end of part 4 of this first song, especially since the whole back half of it is a long instrumental lead out. Like they just lock on this really solid, really catchy riff and kind of stride out into battle behind it. And you even get, you know, again, those like choral, you know, chants and such behind it. It just gives it some like extra weight. First track, awesome. And because I'm a dick, I'm going to make him say the second track.
The second track, which I'm going to butcher as well, Dit Gudama Trelar R. I'm 1,000% certain I didn't say that correctly at all, but whatever. When you get to the second track of this and the movements within, this is where it starts to get heavier, riffier, darker, a whole lot more groove. The leads are tasty. Part 1 of the song I butchered. Blasty, thrashy riffs. It's in your face. There's definitely more intensity. The drum work, which I think is great anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's very solid, but he really adds a lot of cool things like big turnovers. There's just turnovers throughout the second track here, the first part of it anyway. The whole performance is just like, again, more aggressive, more vicious.
Yeah. Part 1 just slams into you. Like immediate energy right away. Like we both perked up right away. Like, oh my God. Here we and we're still going. And there's like some really cool, like, you know, like transitions within these fast parts that kind of like, you know, become like an accent that gets repeated, because this one, in terms of a thing that I think the first track doesn't do as well, this one has some unifying riffs, some like common threads that tie the song together. And it's the thrashy moments, which I'm always down for thrashy moments, like machine gun guitars. Don't threaten me with a good fucking time. Almost every part of this last track has like a thrashy section where it revisits literally that first riff you hear on, you know, part 1 of this track. And again, it kind of like brings you back. Like it's a unifying thread, a recurring character in a story or a mini-series or something like that. And I thought that touch really kind of tied that song together a little bit better than the first song. The first song, I think, is awesome. It's epic. It's a true blue adventure. It goes all over the place. This one feels a little bit more like focused and unified, and it still goes kind of all over the place.
Part 2 of that track as well, I like this because it's slower. A lot of it up until this moment has been very in your face, very vicious, very off to the races. Even when they weren't doing like thrashy riffing, they were still blasting. There were, double time things. In this case, although the riffs continue, they're more dialed in and almost to like a halftime groove. And I think when the first slowdown really hits, that riff that hits is a nasty, like sinister groove.
A lot of like Necrotic and like Melakash sort of vibes. Like there's almost some like Middle Eastern kind of melodies that seem to pop up in there. But yeah, when they slow it down, it feels more dark. It feels more evil. Like when it's blasting and going like absolutely nuts, like it just has this like unrelenting aggression. Of course, the vocals always make it sound a touch evil. But when they slow it down, kind of let these melodies ring out, you get a lot of these dissonant harmonies in there too. It starts sounding like much colder, much more vicious. And as it gets into part 3, which when it comes down to like the transitions between the parts in here, the second track in here has them like almost seamless, like to the point where you really can't tell. And it's awesome because they flow really well. And since part 2 kind of ends with a little bit of like sad strumming, it's a little bit more melancholic, it picks up from there in part 3, builds into it, and it kind of makes you feel like you're going to get like a little bit more of a melancholic strumming song, and then all of a sudden the thrashy part comes in, wakes you up, and it gets flat out vicious again.
And the vocal performance on this song, although I like it throughout the record, the vocal performance specifically on part 3 of the second track is probably the most vicious vocal performance, period. Like, you can even get some death growls. The whole time, he is just right there, right in your face, just like standing directly in front of you, screaming at you.
And the transition into the fourth part is one of my favorite transitions because you get these big, heavy, open chords. And a lot of the guitar work in here, like, it's a lot of fast picking, whether it's tremolo, machine gun riffs, like, thrashy stuff. Occasionally it gets a little bit chuggy. You don't get a lot of these big open riffs, but hearing the guitar tone just ring out in the open, it's fucking huge. Like, it's just got this good, solid crunch to it. But those open chords lead into the fourth part on here, and you get, like, this kind of, like, war drum breakdown into this last song. It just kind of takes those riffs. You get like the floor tom hits. The vocals are growled and chanted at the same time. It sounds like, some battle-weary Vikings returning home. And that's the whole vibe I get on this last track because it's kind of a somber epic.
And here you get a lot of those, again, big, epic, chanted choral vocals. The back half of part 4 of the last track is mostly all instrumental, but again, you have these huge, low, harmonized choral chants that kind of just add, once again, to making something even kind of more melancholic still sound not only large and epic, but again, darker.
And it sticks that riff, and it kind of gives you this long instrumental, like, kind of like fade out, I guess, much like the first track did. But the vibe is different. Where the first one was definitely more melancholic and sad, like this one was more like weary. Like, our adventurers are finally returning home, and those last parts of the song, you can see home on the horizon. I don't know, I think I created like some sort of like weird fucking like mini series in my head for this because it feels like a story. Like, the whole thing is paced really well. I feel like, much like any good story, there are good, pitfalls and, like successes and failures. And, we got to rise to fight the thing or whatever it is. I don't know what they're doing. But
good show.
I know. It's fucking killer.
Rise to fight the thing.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. On Netflix next year. This is why I'm not a screenwriter.
Right, exactly.
Not really good at the details. Like, so what do you want in the movie? They fight and then sword, mountain, there's a dragon, maybe?
Fuck yeah, I'm going on break.
So yeah, needless to say, we enjoyed this. This was a solid listen, front to back. In terms of any negatives, like, I'd be kind of hard-pressed. Like, initially, I thought the lead tone was a little bit dry when we first heard it. But honestly, I kind of adjusted to it, or may have just been that one moment in the opening track, or rather part 1 of the opening track. But as the album went on, I mean, I dig the production. Production sounds good.
Dude. I don't have any problems with the production. And yeah, as far as like dry lead, I will state that the leads between the two songs, the better leads are definitely on the second song. They get a little bit more thrashy and they're a little bit more tasteful too. And I think the overall like modes of these two tracks. I think the first one, I don't think the full attention to them getting a big, rich lead sound was as much in the first part as it was in the second part.
And I mean, if I had to pick which track I probably favored more, it's the second track. I liked both of them. I like the unifying themes and, like, again, those unifying riff sections that just kind of brought it all together in the second part. The first one didn't really have that. Granted, I liked all the music. There was one thing that I didn't necessarily like, though. There was kind of an overuse of, like, a squawky, like, you know, like kind of like tritone melody. It felt like very sizzling and distorted. And I felt like it showed up quite a bit in those songs. And I don't know if it always added, like, you know, atmosphere or like a different texture to it. Like, there's just sections on there where I feel like if you kind of remove that and just let the riffs play out, you know, it might have sounded a little bit better. But outside of that, like, that's about it. Like, this was a hell of an album. And Ellis even said, I think this one is better than our last one. And I agree.
Yeah.
This is killer. I like the first one, though, but I think this one is better. And overall, I'm going to go ahead and give this 4 stars. I enjoyed this listen. It was an epic adventure. Holy shit, riffs. Yeah. Man, dude, especially, again, that second song is just riffy and vibrant and fun and thrashy, but also epic and evil and melodic and lush. All these songs, which there's only 2 of them, technically, but there's 8 tracks if you're listening to it, whatever. They're all well written. They're all well composed. And if you like your black metal particularly dynamic, I don't know if I'd necessarily call it like progressive, but I would definitely call it like, it's not meat and potatoes. Like, there's a lot that goes into this, a lot of transitions, a lot of like really cool, like, you know, tonal changes and such. Yeah, like, this is an in-depth listen. Like, you know, kind of close to Dissection in spots. And I, again, love those first 2 Dissection albums. So yeah, if you like those first 2 Dissection albums, and again, like later Bathory, and definitely some Enslaved too, especially in the vocal chants. There's a lot of that. And even like Ara Noir in terms of those thrashy sections. Check this out. This is a damn good listen.
I'm going to go ahead and agree and give it 4 stars as well. I will tell you that over the last few months or over the last year or so in my journey into black metal, it's stuff like the sound of this record that I like more overall. I don't have any problem with the production. It's got great big production, great crunchy guitars. The drums sound rich and full. But the thing I like about this is how many dynamics are actually in it. I think that's why I lean more towards like older Enslaved. As Enslaved has gone on over the years, they've gotten to be a little bit more progressive in their sound. And even though I wouldn't call this progressive, there's enough parts in it and enough dynamics in it to make it so it's not just this stagnant like blast beat and tremolo that I find a lot of black metal to be. Like, I found this to be far more entertaining. It doesn't drag at all. Great transitions and dynamics make for great flow of the songs. The second song, I think, is just more intense and more focused than the first half, but I like both tracks equally. And this is another cool record that around every twist and turn, into every transition, there's always something really cool that happens. I don't know, it's just cool. I forgot what I was going to say because he was making fun of me. It's not the point. I don't know, I'm going to stop rambling. If you like, well, pretty much Dissection, even though I'm not, I guess, really qualified to tell you, it sounds like the first 2 Dissection albums, because I haven't really sat down with those records. It's not important. I will someday.
Should.
I know. I get it. I know. Anyway, yeah, I really dug this, and if you like any of the bands that Nick mentioned, and you like your black metal, much like I'm really starting to get into it, you're probably going to like this. I would check it out.
So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They're only 99 cents, and our lone perk is doing a members-only live stream, which we'll just say that's probably going to happen in August.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I've been on overtime at work for about 6 weeks, and there's really no end in sight yet, and I don't know when the hell I'm going to get off overtime, but eventually, we promise you, we will get to a members-only stream. We don't like making a habit of saying, here, buy this, and then not giving you anything. Like, we will get there, but we have that.
Either that or we're going to send John to your house to wash your car while he wears a Depends diaper.
Maybe. It depends.
Anyway, membership is the main way to support the channel, and there's a join button down below for you to smite mightily with your heathen acts of smiting. Whatever you want to call it, that's fine. But just hit the join button if you want to join up.
Once again, you see why Nick is not in charge of screenplays. That was a great try, though.
The hammer of hammering.
Even if you don't hammer that button with the hammer of hammering, it's okay. We still have live streams that are not for members only, which are equally as stupid as the members only live streams. If you like seeing us be stupid, it'll happen. It's going to happen regardless. We got discography rankings. I swear to God, once I get off overtime, there will be an At the Gates ranking. It's just work has made that virtually impossible for us to get that done, but it is coming. The notes are taken. I'm ready to rock and roll. Just there's no time. We will get there. Beyond that, States of Metal, Is It Not Metal? We have the Thralls Greatest Hits, which go in tandem with the rankings. Just all metal content all the time. We do it for you guys because, once again, we appreciate you. Even though I may not have a whole lot of time for you lately, I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of Thralls of Metal. It means the world to us that you guys keep interacting and watching our videos. It's crazy. I never thought this channel would get as big as it is, but you guys keep it going. We couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, you guys absolutely rule. Tons of content coming in the future, so one more big thank you because you guys are awesome, and we will catch you later.